Hey, gentlemen.
Hey.
Hi, guys. What's going on?
Let's hear Chad's mic. He's froze.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I have faith.
You're a fucking hair, man. That's great. Good for you. You growing it out for like cancer victims or?
Yeah.
Acts of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want them to have the joy of being able to look at me with long hair. I'm not donating it to them or
I think
anything.
they're
I
just
just want
gonna
them
be
to be able to see me before they die of cancer. I want them to be able to look upon me once.
I think you're getting ready for some sort of a McConaughey Dude Festival that's going to happen in Austin.
It's working. I was washing my car today in the driveway. Like, this is one of the things I like about being in a house again and not in an apartment, is washing my car. Like, actually washing the car like it's the 70s. And I took an edible, and then I'm just out there. I got my cowboy hat on, my shorts, no shirt, Mishka style. And a car pulls up to the neighbors. A couple gets out, millennials. They carry a cooler inside because, oh yeah, it's Labor Day. And as the guy's walking in, he stops. He's got a Corona in his hand, and he holds another one out towards me. And he's like, "Hey, you want a beer?" And I'm like, "No, thanks, man. But yeah, all right." Like, it's working. I think I could have got laid today. It's my point.
Wait,
Yeah,
you equate the offer of a beer
I do.
in a hot Austin day to
Yeah.
that is the domino
Like,
effect.
If a
you're
guy-
having going
Yeah.
on.
If
Oh,
a
you
guy
almost got laid by a guy. Okay.
if a guy offers you a cool Corona when you're shirtless and washing your car in your driveway, he's down to fuck.
It's
Yeah.
like it's like the opening of Kingpin when like Woody Harrelson comes into the bowling alley. He had it going on. Like, people go, "Oh, I reckon," like Snoop Dogg walking up the beach. You got to hand out the beers because game recognizes game. So the millennial getting out of the minivan with his Labor Day cooler for backyard barbecue recognized Erickson as one of their own.
That's right. His lady walked into the house, and he was barely even looking at her by the time she went inside. It's like he'd forgotten she even existed.
I
Hi,
know.
Chad.
Look at your hair.
hey, what's up, guys?
Of course.
It's good to see you. It always makes me happy to see you guys.
So, Chad, you missed it. Erickson almost got laid by a dude on his driveway. That you're filled in.
Welcome back.
I heard the first part of that story, and I kind of could guess where it was going. Those luscious locks.
Well, I mean, if it's like what Doug's horrible punchline about John Bonet. If you're gonna wear the uniform, this guy pulls up. He's probably had a couple of beers driving over there. Probably doesn't want to go over there with his wife. And then he sees a fucking gay cowboy washing his car.
Shirtless.
By the way, straw cowboy hat, shorts, shirtless, no shoes or anything either, and also washing a Prius.
That's
So-
good.
Oh,
Yeah,
a
man.
lot. There was a lot for that guy to take in.
I think it was overload. He didn't see the Prius.
Yeah.
He
you
saw the shorts. Like, let me kill
you were
myself.
California and the shit out of his Texas, weren't you?
Damn right.
That's-
Come on over, bro. I got weed.
yeah, that's Texas's only hope is to get so gay that it takes over.
I'll do my part.
Yeah, like the Pride Parade should almost be.
Community. I
Uh-huh.
don't think you should be gay to contribute to something as awesome as.
I feel like Pride should just be in Texas. Like, it should just every little
The whole
to in
state
Texas has
year-round?
the gay parade day, and
Uh-huh.
as gay as possible. Baby oil, small dogs, and like just go West Texas, the West Texas gay parade tour. Hey, I could be in that. Throw greasy water balloons at the Cowboys.
When they had the gay pride thing in Bisbee a few years back before COVID, and I wish that this shit would go away so it could be big like that again. It was humongous, and that was so much fun. That was just shit going on all over. I made the remark at one point to everybody. I was like, "This is great. There's like scantily dressed hot chicks everywhere out here," and they're like, "Are you sure those are chicks?" And I go, "I'm just looking. It doesn't fucking matter to me."
Yeah.
They look, whoever they are, they look really good.
Can you imagine having parades before gays were even at all acceptable? It's like every parade is a gay parade. It
Right.
takes so much gay effort to put a parade together, paper flowers and all that shit. And it's like the whole theme of a parade is gay. And then they used to march around like, this isn't gay at all. No? All right.
The thing you build is called a float, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. When straight guys imagine a parade, it's like the tailhook scandal. Remember that? That's just a bunch of guys standing there as people walk by and they're fondled and abused. That's a straight guys parade. So you're exactly right.
Yeah.
And parades are fun.
Yeah, I participated. I mean, I rode, and I've told you guys about the gay '90s. And keeping on the theme, the Coquille had the gay '90s. I don't remember. It seemed
that
like
a
it must have
theater?
been. Well, no, it's just gay. I mean, it was just the gay
Okay,
'90s.
help us understand what you're saying, Andy.
Well, I guess the 1890s was real gay because that's what it was. It was like a celebration of those '90s.
So this was a citywide celebration.
Yeah,
of the gay
yeah,
night.
and then
Okay.
there's the gay. Yeah, that's
Didn't
what
didn't gay mean something else in the
didn't.
1890s though?
Well, pedophiles kind of went unnoticed, so they didn't really. I mean, it wasn't a term that was thrown around for homosexuals a lot back in like '70s. That's when but I think they still have the gay '90s parade. That's most of my fond childhood memories are of the gay '90s. Is John Lindergren ripping the car to shreds? Robin, we didn't hold up a J.C. Penney's, but we went in with cap guns and said, "Looky here," and fired off our cap guns and ran out.
During the parade or during the celebration?
Well, it's just you get real wound up during that. It's like, everybody's downtown. There's the parade, and then there's also the cowboys with the guns that fire blanks doing skits and shit. So it's already, it's kind of in the air that, there could be a shootout. Or the beer garden, watching the Coquille beer garden, there's going to be trouble at gay '90s. I didn't stick around for after hours partying ever. So I'm sure what I participated in was horseplay and water balloon and water. It was written up in the newspaper as a complaint. Water gun shenanigans. Yeah,
Did the
Water
attempted
play?
robbery of the department store?
That didn't make it into the thing. We went in and I'm glad we didn't use any language like this is a stick up or anything. We probably just went in there and then just blasted our caps off. And those things too, it's possible I fired off 6 rounds and didn't get one to blast. Yeah. So you couldn't really rob a place. Those remember those like red.
Yeah, you used to hit them with a hammer on the sidewalk after you got tired of your cap gun not being able to make them pop.
Yeah, you'd have to sit a bunch down and hit them with a hammer.
We'll just use rocks.
Yeah.
Smash it with 2 rocks.
And the other guys in your failed robbery were like, how come Andy came here with an unloaded cap gun?
Yeah, and then they come out
with one bullet in there.
If you spend a few more dollars, you could get the ones that they loaded, like, there was like 6 of them in a red round, and those fired off.
Yeah, it was like a shell.
Yeah, it was always
those were the more reliable ones.
Sweating, panicking, trying to get those red, black papers to load up.
Andy, did you have a muzzle loading cap gun?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I do remember that was one of those times where I was like kind of left behind by technology. It's like my friends had the consistent fire and cap guns, and I still had the red paper, which is, child abuse. But I do remember that you get like all of them that didn't fire, and then you'd stack them up and get like 8 or 10 of them, and then blast it with a hammer. It's too bad there wasn't anything you could direct that at. I guess I could have put loaded a big Jim's head with with it and then smashed his fucking head.
So, Andy, the Coquille Chamber of Commerce website lists the Gay 90s, a celebration of the 1890s.
Yeah.
There's a parade, and there's vendors, and the Rotary has a big hand in this thing.
Burgers, maybe.
Kiwanis Pancake Feed. The Rotary Fun Run. You could go back and do that if you.
Yeah,
that's
I didn't even.
So it must be a 5K.
I didn't understand the theme, but once I was dressed up like a dandy on a tennis float. Like I had I was a dandy. I had a one of them brimmed hats, the flat ones.
Straw hat.
Yeah, like a straw hat, politician hat, and then I had like knee-high socks and short shorts, and and then I was like hitting candies to the crowd. I was Pride before there was Pride. If anyone saw that display, there's a little dandy on the Gay 90s.
Little dandy Andy.
Yeah.
Little dandy Andy.
Andy even then mistook the Gay 90s. She thought it was an actual gay parade. Yeah. Even then.
Yeah, and there was really no context to that. Like, what made the 1890s so wonderful that way?
Maybe it's the gay 90s parades that helped make the term gay mean gay. Like, parades are so gay that they kept having gay 90s parades, and people were like, yeah, this is all pretty gay. And then gay changed happy to
and then the undercurrent of all the pedophiles in town. So they're probably like, oh, glad to have some cover. Like,
Coquille, it might have actually been a gay 90s parade where it's just a free-for-all. Whatever.
Well, I participated in that one where I towed around my guinea pig John Wayne in a kids parade with pets.
Whoa. Andy, you had a guinea pig named John Wayne?
Yeah, I was patriotic as a young man. And John Wayne, he was he ate he was the father of them, but he ate his babies.
Yeah, they do that.
Him and his mother ate the babies, which is a real bummer, but kind of fits with John Wayne, politically.
Well, how come you didn't feed him?
I'm sure it's like a lot of things is like, I promised I would, Yeah. I don't know why we had guinea pigs, because they'd either freeze to death or then they would get eaten by their mother. And it was just more like having like a horror show rather than having pets. Like, here, oh my God, look what's going on.
But those are two things that you could have prevented. In fact, as a pet owner, you probably should have prevented them from A, freezing, and B, eating their young.
Yeah, they should have been we should have brought them into the back porch at the very least when they froze to death. That was
Andy, where was this in the timeline of when you bought a bunch of chickens, then they died before you even
that was 20 years later. That did bring it up though, because when you have pets and stuff, if you think about it, at some point they'll die or whatever. But it's the Anders we just had, we had some pets that were expendables, squad, the Suicide Squad of pets that didn't quite make it. Like, I was always unplugging the, I don't know, I didn't mean to, but I would unplug the tropical fish tank and kill them all. It's my dad. He really liked looking
the heater.
Fish.
Unplug the heater, and they would eventually freeze.
Maybe me, probably like I know one time me and Jeff unplugged it to play electric football. We killed everything. It's like 20 fish, and I know my dad liked the fish, and so we'd replace them, and he liked them. He named them and stuff. So when we murdered, it's one thing to kill fish, but when they got names like Little Steve and, 15 fish in there with names and they're all floating on top. And then, we just have we had like pets that would just show up and then leave in the same, week. Like they didn't want to hang sometimes. My mom would bring home like cats, and she like probably just cats that weren't even lost, but she would think they were lost, and then they would take off. You didn't bond with them the first week or two.
Yeah, don't name them or bond with them. So your mom would be let's be honest, leaving the hair salon where she got her wig done up, and then she would
We'd have
like
to
find a cat and just grab it, snatch
Well,
it.
which is like what it's like not a more probably the kids, but people would show up with pets, and then they wouldn't stick around. It was like the Brady Bunch or whatever. It's like, didn't you guys used to have a dog? And it's like,
Tiger.
I know we had a bunch of wiener dogs. I don't know what happened to any of them.
What?
I remember that.
I think we might be close to a breakthrough here.
I don't know. Well, I know what happened to
into
Black
this.
Pete. Black Pete got squished by a car in front of my dad, who was horrified. But that was one we had older. But I don't remember we had like I just probably just my parents would just go kill him or whatever. Like not I mean take him to the vet, and I wouldn't get privy to it. At least I don't know, man. Maybe we did my dog Bob, right? He was an old like a fat version of Lassie, and my mom,
A collie.
my mom would I don't know if she worked for a newspaper, and I don't know if she got coupons or whatever, but she took Bob and gave Bob the most fucked up haircut you could give a dog. So it's a collie with long hair, and we got it a lion cut. So it just looked like an asshole. Its whole body was trimmed, and it had like a lion, like a dude lion. And then a week or so later, Bob went off to die. That was like
shame.
Yeah,
embarrassment.
He went to a corner of the yard that nobody knew. Just disappeared. My dad knew that. It was like, well, sometimes dogs will
How
just.
many corners does your
die.
yard have?
Oh, few.
This corner of the yard that nobody knew about. Jesus.
Yeah, kind of would go there. Yeah, it was like this overgrown woodsy area that was near our property, and Bob was like, "Fuck it, I don't even want to die around these people after that haircut." And I don't blame him.
Maybe he froze to death, getting all his hair shaved off in Coquille.
Yeah, he went down in the woods to seek warmth. Yeah, but like though his body was shaved, I think the hair on the head.
Well, lion, you would keep the fluffy
and then a puffy, like one puff on the tail, like at the end of it.
That just looks like a bad dog face Photoshop.
I didn't know about
you photoshopped another dog on another dog's face.
That was in 1984, but somebody was doing meth when that happened. Yeah, that's pretty much. And then, plus Bob was an old fucking dog with tumors and weird spots and shit too. So it's like, oh, fuck. You brought it home, you're like, oh my god, I didn't know all that shit was going on. You feel it when you pet him or whatever, but it was like, oh fuck, It just, I don't know. If you want to kill your dog, turn it into a different kind of animal and see how it reacts. You're a monkey now. Oh fuck!
How long did you have Bob?
He was like my childhood dog, and his story was David was working at a farm, and I don't know what they were farming, but they were killing these dogs. So there was like the farmer was blasting these dogs.
There's not an answer to that question that involves the killing of dogs.
Yeah. So then David, and I don't know if Larry was involved, but David stepped in and grabbed up Bob, saved it from whatever was going on there. But they were getting killed by a farmer, and then we brought it home, or he brought it to the house, and my dad accepted it, and then he just started rattling off names for it, and then it moved on Bob.
It moved.
It came over to him.
It reacted to his name.
Hey Rocky, hey Tony, hey Bob.
Hey
and
Juicy Fruit.
So his name it was
hey,
Bob.
Sniffer.
And that's Sniffer. Yeah, I'd like to. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a dog named Bob again because it's a good one. Hey Bob, come on over here, Bob. Just seems like a stupid name for a dog. Hey, and condolences to Henry Phillips, not the crooner. Dog passed. Either that or it was laying still in a hole.
It was definitely laying still in a hole.
Well, it might be pulling some sort of white men can't jump, fake your own death. Does Henry owe money around town or anything?
Yeah. So
You
Take the
guys had
photo.
that bet. Did you pay Henry off to act like she was dead so that you could collect on
I
your
am not
guys'
in. I
bet?
not nothing like. I have no part in anything like that. Now, if someone else did something like that, I can't speak to it. But
sort of like Doug's an empty nester now. Like Bingo's moving, Meatwig's still there, but Meatwig's got, is taking college courses and probably taking
Well,
off
he's
in the
taking a
fall.
year off now
Yeah, Meatwig's going
to
to
deal with
beauty
the
school.
grief.
Yeah, I feel like Henry Phillips won't have a very good bit about Henry Phillips' death. The Ichabod bit will always overshadow. But yeah, now you can bring dogs over to Doug's place.
uh-huh.
Good news.
Well, no, you can't. That's not an invitation, Andy, and you're not allowed to make that
You
off.
heard Andy. Bring him over.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
Dog
Bring your
parade.
pets.
Yeah.
Bring your pets. Show up with some tequila, some cigarettes. Doug's trying to get fit. Where is he's still on the road, right, Dougie? Doug?
He's waiting for me in Tucson. We're heading out to Chicago in a couple days.
So does Doug know there's two little people on that show?
What show?
In Chicago, because that.
Yeah, he hired him.
Okay,
Or-
I didn't
no.
know if he knew it was two separate little people or he had them confused as one. Because we met the little guy, not the one in the wheelchair, but we met the little guy out on the road, and then Doug,
Yeah, I think that was in Iowa at the Tiger Room.
yeah,
Yeah.
Doug did if there was a thing, he's not. I don't think Doug's gay, but I think he's gay for little people.
Isn't that still gay?
Well, I mean, if it depends on if it's just dudes, and I haven't seen him around midget. I know he did some work with Bridget the Midget, or a piece on the Man
Tanya
Show.
Lee?
Yeah. Well, I think he probably. I don't think I can't see Doug putting her on his lap. I think
She's
Doug's type of dude are waifish, little tiny undernourished men or fatties.
Andy, do you remember that guy in Iowa who opened though?
Yeah, I can't
he's
think of
really
his name.
tiny and
Yeah,
he
Gilbert. His last Adam Gilbert. I
Adam
believe,
Gilbert. God,
Yeah.
Andy, good job, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
When you said long arms, no, I don't know.
Doug tells the story of like when we were backstage waiting for the show to start. He comes back there and we're sitting at like some high top tables in like a bar that is like our green room area. And he comes in and he kind of like waddles over to where we're at. And then he has to get up into this like tall high back chair. And then we didn't want to like offend him or anything and try and help like lift him up or anything.
Oh, yeah.
We watched him like wrestle this chair to get to the top, and it was fucking hilarious. But at the same time, it's like, hey, he does this all the time. We don't have to get involved.
Yeah.
But did you? He's funny. I mean, that's why Doug.
Yeah. You don't know. Like Sean Rouse, he would lash at people trying to help him.
Yeah.
Here, let me get out of the way, faggot. All right, man.
Yeah.
he made you hesitant to ever help another handicapped person again.
Right. It's just that, Sean, we made dinner reservations for 8:30 and it's now 9:15 and we've been walking from the car for 45 minutes. It just, if there's any way we could speed this up.
Yeah. Like I told you guys about that guy, Little Feet, that rides around in a motorized chair waving me to go in my car, jerking his head. And that reminded me of Sean. It's like, and my dad too. My dad hated people getting in his way or holding the door or whatever. Like,
imagine your dad today if he saw like bird scooters on the sidewalk when he was in his wheelchair. Oh my God, that would have killed him if he wasn't already dead.
I never did it on purpose, but probably just lifestyle or whatever. But he would just like lay down obstacles. He would call them like a shoe, and then you lay down the obstacles, and then you call. Well, back then you couldn't, but call up your own house, or the phone would ring though. But if he was in one room and then the phone's ringing, and he would come wheeling out and make an attempt to get to it. Which I don't know why he always answered the phone. He hated it. everybody who ever called my house go, well, your dad was really upset. Yeah, he fucking hated
Yeah, because you had to roll over a hockey
he
stick
would,
and a
yeah, and he'd
fucking
wheel it, and we had,
bunch of
the
big gyms to get to it.
fuck yeah, Big Jim's van out there, and it's like as a teenager, he'd roll through there, and I'd have my, fucking laundry piled up or whatever, and he'd grab it and just like, he'd fucking fling shit around when he didn't like it, or whatever. But yeah, it was fucking fun to watch him try to get through an obstacle course, and then but with the sense of urgency to get to the phone, I mean, I would ask my dad now, if I could, was it worth it?
To get to the phone?
Yeah, getting to the phone. It always fucking pissed him off and riled him up, and he had to get through the obstacles, and somebody had moved the table or whatever. It's like if you live with a blind person and you just constantly put chairs out in the way so they'd walk into them. And that's what he accused people of doing. But we it wasn't that we were out to get him. We were just all inconsiderate.
You forgot to plug the fish tank back in after you played electric football. So
Right.
clearly,
And I don't think it happened once. By the way, the tone of the story was you killed a lot of fish.
And,
well,
there was a.
Go ahead,
Go
Chet.
ahead, Andy.
Oh no, about pets though, it's just like one disaster after another. It's like we had it's like I learned that having pets was a real sad thing because I would, John Wayne and who did he ate the babies and those all had names. So it was a very exciting time, and then the next batch came and winter was coming and the old man John Wayne accepted them. Well, you're all right with me. Sorry, I was trying to do a John Wayne.
That was pretty Jimmy Stewart, but
yeah. All you little guinea pigs, you.
Well,
Happy holidays, every guinea pig. And what do you want for Christmas? Well, they want to be brought into where
we're on the wheel, see?
Could you bring us in where it's a little warmer? No, because that next batch, then they froze up.
Listen, Pilgrim, it's getting kind of chilly out here.
There you go. That's better.
I don't want to have to run on my wheel to stay warm all night.
Don't make me eat these babies again.
It wouldn't be bad if you'd feed us once in a while. Negligent son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, those got fed. We take care of them, feed them and shit. But it was just like those thoughtful things, like bring them in when it's warm or cold and shit. But you also there wasn't the internet where you could go do guinea pigs eat their young?
I'm sure there's a booklet at the library.
All right, we could have checked.
I mean, I don't think all of a sudden because of the internet we found out that guinea pigs eat their young.
We had guinea pigs, and then we're on a waiting list to check out a book about caring for guinea pigs. We got it 2 weeks later. It's one of the most important things about raising guinea pig babies is get them away from their old man. It's kind of abusive.
The book's still in Jeff's motor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, me and Jeff. I don't know about us, but my brother John couldn't check books out of the library because we ruined. Me and Jeff cut up a Civil War book and used it for a wall display. I think we just like glued the pictures to the wall, something like that.
What sort of Civil War pictures?
Dead body
into the wall.
Yeah, dead body. There, John had a book that was like nothing but Civil War battle scenes and dead bodies, and I guess me and Jeff were into collages, so we cut out a dead body.
Yeah, and then we pets.
Yeah, then we put John returned the book, and then he got a letter that he wasn't allowed to check out any books and had to pay for this book that he cut up. Shame on him. What an asshole. Yeah, I'd say it's probably good me and Jeff didn't remain friends because we were kind of fucking weirdo shitheads together trying to get a girl to eat our poop.
Wait, what?
Hey, hold on.
What the fuck?
Listen, honey, you can't look at these Civil War pictures all day. I got another thing we're gonna do. You hungry?
It was
this is just the first part. Okay.
My mom through her church would always have like uncared for, or kids who needed, or whatever. My mom just was a very motherly person, and she would bring home little people from church or community action or whatever, and then me and Jeff would feed them poop, I guess. Now I think this was a neighborhood girl, and we peed in cups. I remember that we peed in cups and tried to get her to drink it, and then we another time had poop that we delivered and tried to tell her it was like a hot cookie. Like, and she wouldn't go for that, and I don't think she drank the pee either. And I don't ever remember what happened to her. I don't think she stayed in the neighborhood long.
Yeah, I
But
guess
that,
not.
She
kind of
begged to go live with her
shit.
grandma, probably.
Yeah.
But that's like, like I look at it
Still
and go,
can't eat a
wow, that's
cookie.
creepy shit. Why was
Yeah.
I why? But I wasn't into that. Same as like when I was getting molested by an older dude, I wasn't like, hey, here's a position I'd like to try later, Steve. Like all that shit was my older brothers doing weird shit. So I was like a little innocent. And then I watched the horror show that was those guys. And, pretty much fucking here I am. Andy Dufresne after crawling through a river of shit.
Oh, cheers. Made it to
Yeah.
the other side. I think you're doing better than your brother.
Only
I
to
think you turned out really well, and
Yeah.
find out there's another river of shit. And that leads back.
It's shit all the way down.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
rivers of shit all the way down.
well, nothing but rivers. They're all shit.
Yeah. The key is you get to a point where you're like, oh man, I wish I'd have known everything is shit and it wasn't worth fucking worrying about 30 years ago. If I could talk to 24-year-old self, that fucker would be hitting the spike a lot earlier. You think you don't want to do those harder drugs for a reason, but you don't want to be 55, do you?
Hey Andy, whose shit was it?
I think it was probably dog shit. I don't remember one of
okay.
us humping up on the plate. But Jeff would just think of stuff like that, and I would, always like follow him around and so that. But that's what we were doing,
Yeah.
I was creepy by association.
Mm-hmm. I think you're absolved of some responsibility when you're the fifth of 5 boys, and
with
at that
little
point,
to no supervision happening
it's
at all.
yes, you've been raised. You're being raised by wolves.
Yeah. The first floor was a resemblance of like a somewhat, if you squinted your eyes, it could look like a regular functional American family. But our house had 2 stories and a basement, and those were unpoliced. those were horror shows.
So like first floor was the DMZ,
Yeah.
and then everywhere else was just fucking chaos.
You did not want to be caught in the basement, the fucking dirt floor basement with the fucking rodents, and you could get locked in there, and you could hear everything above you. It was a real thin level down there, so you could hear the animals scratching around up there. The fat dog trying to get off the fucking linoleum, which I got going on at my house now again. Fucking fat dogs. It's like, God damn, it's like listening to a DJ scratch a record. I'm just getting up to go to the bathroom. You don't need to get out. Just stay down, man. Your days of springing up.
It's not Rocky.
Yeah. You ain't worth a shit, Rocky. Stay down. I mean, I'm like, it's good you're getting up for exercise, but it's just fucking, it takes you 30 seconds to get to your feet. Just fucking, let's talk about the shot. Let's talk about that Henry Phillips Pfizer dose.
Hey, Andy, I think you can get little grip booties that you can Velcro onto the dog's feet.
Yeah. Well, I could
Get a little traction.
My dad had this thing, and he never really used it much, but it was like a lift. And he would like get up, and then he would for a short time. My dad would come home, and he was encouraged to stand up in the standing frame, and it's just like and it was fucking. He did not. It was hell, and that's when I knew that I remember my mom, and it was like difficult, and it's like he needed like a Rocky type talking to, because it was hard and it hurt, and I don't know if it was even
Was it when he still had legs?
he had them.
So
He
they're trying
had
to get him to increase the circulation.
like I don't know, yeah. So he would get in this thing, and it was fucking hell for me. I remember him in being in agony, and my mom saying, "Just sit." Like she didn't like to see anybody in pain, and she was like, "Just sit down," and then he would give up, and then it was like, and then I was like, I sat and I watched that, and I was like, life lesson there. If things get difficult, fucking just sit down and quit.
Ironic that your mom didn't want to see anyone in pain, and yet they sent you to another state with a man that was not related to you.
Right. Yeah.
Technically, she didn't see it, Andy in pain.
That is
so
true.
Yeah,
True.
I was putting my own little standing frame, and
Andy, did your mom ever know about that or never?
I told her when she was already in the throes of dementia, so she was already
it was safe to tell her. You thought
she was already partying with the fentanyl at that point, and I told her, and it's funny because I had Chris Castles there, and it was right before I went to Florida to confront Stevie, and I told my mom I was going to go see Steve or Pat. I go, you remember Pat? And she's like, and was when I stopped doing the do you remembers with her too, because it was like, do you remember? And she was like, and she really didn't. I go, he's the guy who you guys would let me go, or you would fly. I would fly out there and visit this guy, and he would sexually molest me. He would give me massages and sweatsuits. And and my mom said, "Oh, I wish somebody would give me a like." She said something like that, something really outrageous, like, "Oh, that no, he would sexually molest me and give me $100." And my mom goes, "Well, that sounds like a good deal," and I'm like, "That's exactly, but it's like you can't hold somebody accountable who's eating his Jello anyway."
Oh, what a hilarious fucking answer!
Yeah.
I mean, it's hardly closure for you, but I mean, it's fucking hilarious.
Hey, listen, guys, remember that's $1970.
Yeah.
$100
right.
back
So
then.
like like now, like in comedy, it's like that was kind of the standard opening. You get 100, headline, you get 200. So I was like, right out of the gate, I was a feature. I don't ever remember molestation MC work.
Maybe this is why you you bail early on the light.
Yeah. It's like as soon as I see the fucking way out. But but we got that on we take it was like I went there to get that. That's what I went there for, is my mom to drop that soundbite, and she delivered. Like working with people with dementia, and when I try to get the man baby who has retardation. I don't want to label him, but he had severe retardation, and a tiny little feller, and trying to get him to do dialogue or just to repeat something was tough. I did finally get him to say it was for my CD, Dumb It Down for the Masses, and he said there in the, I guess hidden somewhere, it's and I wanted it just at the very end where the right at the end go, "Hey, thanks for buying any CD, you white trash motherfuckers." But that took an hour to get him to do. It's like, "No, Bob," and he would go on some spiel, and I was like, "It's all fine and good, man. Can
Andy,
you just say this?"
It's just it was just an audio CD, right?
Yeah.
You just did the voice yourself.
Well, but he had it's like if you I mean, I could do the read, but I don't add Hank's voice. And the man baby had a real, like, the
it was
from
better.
Deliverance style.
Yeah.
But I should probably try to find that whole thing, because I probably have a whole tape of the 45 minutes trying to drag it out of him, which is probably way funnier.
Of me saying it 45 minutes long.
I didn't. That was my first podcast. Turns out just taping it doesn't make it. And then I did that pod. It wasn't I did try to do a podcast with that homeless guy that was a ninja when I
He's
hit
got
rock
some
bottom. Oh
static
yeah,
going.
my neighbor's been intermittently sawing for the last
Uh,
3 months. So he comes out and fucking saws every once in a while.
all
And I
right.
like him as a neighbor, but it's like, it's like he's like fucking Pierce Brosnan as a youth, He's young, good looking dude.
Who?
Roslyn?
Roslyn?
Pierce
Yeah.
Brosnan.
He knows
We
what he's
know
doing.
him.
He's
Oh,
he's
jeez.
got his fucking hat on backwards and not in a, he doesn't, it doesn't strike you as a Rogan-esque move. It's like long, it's like, I don't need that. I need a fucking fat neighbor who makes mistakes in his carpentry and yells now and then. Like, what a loser. But I'm sure there's plenty of times where he's like, is that guy naked out there? What the fuck is he doing?
Why is he yelling faggot so much?
No, I'm just saying if I, like he comes out, he just has a pencil and he just goes about. He's sawing, I don't know what the fuck he's making in there, but it involves intricate little cuts. I can't do that shit. I fucking saw it and the saw kicks back and I get mad and it's crooked and shit. And so somebody fucked up my mailbox recently.
No, wait, what?
Yeah. This I forgot to mention this last time because it was handled in house. But I put my mailbox up there, and you remember when I put it
The
up,
Willy Nilly box?
well, I put it up a little. I wanted it to be square, but it went up willy nilly. It was crooked, and the boards that I had it on, so it's like Jesus cross, and there's a mailbox on the right, and then there would be one on the left. But somebody come up and grabbed one of them big long boards, which is way too long. I should have cut them down longer or shorter. But somebody just snapped it, and they snapped all the fucking things and everything. I was like, motherfucker, my
Snapped it
box.
like
They
hit
snapped
it
one
with
of
their
the 2x4s.
car.
So they just, no, I don't know. It must have been some local toughs.
Well,
Some
wait a
local,
minute. How far out was this too long?
Yeah,
How far
I
out
think
was
he
it
took an
sticking
uncut
into the
8
road,
foot.
Andy?
no, it's just really like
I
my.
always have to wait for the other shoe to drop when Andy tells a fucking story.
So on the one side, and there were even on one side, there was about 6 inches overhang from the box. So on the other, it's like way too much. You just cut it to about the length of your box. But this provided horseplay Harry and I don't know if it's just one. I assume teenagers, baggy pants, white dude. It's like fucking nothing better to do. And they go, this mailbox is put up here perfectly, and let's just fuck with it. And so they broke that board. So then the first thing in the morning, just like, and sometimes I have I'm not on vacation or anything. I just have no thoughts about doing anything with the day at all. Like it's just nothing. I don't
I get it.
I'm with
and
you.
and so then I see this, and then it's like, God damn it! Now I'm in action here. I got to fucking do. I got to saw this thing off, and the board's broke, and I found I went to the hardware store and got a file that saws, and it has the blade on the inside. So it's like instead of sawing all awkwardly, was anyway. I didn't even know that I just bought one, and then when I got home with it, I was trying to saw the other way, going, this is going to be fucking impossible. And then I realized the blade was on the inside, and then it went and it's like, fuck yeah, man. These teenagers will try to get to you. They'll try to set you back, but you got to just go out and go, wait a minute, I got a good drill. I got I got another 2x4. I still have some of that lacquer. So it's just like like a fucking like this neighbor dude. I'm just like manned up. And also here was the key part of it is I knew little Andrew was going to be in town the next day. So I just took my mailbox and then I went out and I didn't want to miss mail service. So I put it out there in a wagon. Like I set it out on my wagon and then I took the pole or the mail, and then after that I took it in for the evening. And then when Andrew got there, I was like, hey, Andrew, I was wondering if you could give me a hand with this, which means
Oh,
I'm going to,
handyman Andrew.
yeah,
Yeah.
handyman
Okay.
Andrew. Like, he goes, yeah, I'll take a look at it. And it's like, you think you need to pre-drill? We need to pre-drill. Like I use the terms like we, and then it just blends to him. And it's like,
He
like,
knows
yeah,
what
let
you're
me.
talking about.
And then he just
And
sends
he
me,
just goes up to the yard and starts taking his clothes off while Andrew's fixing the
Right.
mailbox.
Yeah, and then he goes, do you think
Hang
you
out
got
a
any
bit.
more of these kind of screws? Which means, you're not necessary here. And then I go down to the garage, and it's like that's why I said he would be perfect. Like I want a man like that in my life. And I'm not sexually turned on by him or anything, but I'm just turned on by his efficiency. It's like if I did that mailbox, I would have it up there crooked again because I just can't do that measurement and lining shit like some dudes. Like I would assume Phil Swift.
Clearly.
Like if your neighbor was Phil Swift, he'd be over there doing fucking whatever you need, man. He's the dude with the spackle paste shit or whatever.
And Andy, you are so clueless that I'm pretty sure you're describing a hacksaw that they sell with the blades flipped inward so that it's safer. And then you just unscrew the little wing nut and flip it the other way and put it back. Or you can use it that way inside.
Well, then maybe
Andrew,
because Andrew placated.
But
He goes, maybe Andrew knew that, and he just goes, yeah, man, it's about time they figured that out. But maybe he knew I was fucking stupid. But so now the box is up there and it's back, but it's sturdier now. Like I think just I don't the kids who did that. It's like no woman deserves to be sexually harassed or groped. But I think I kind of left that mailbox up there dressed sexy. It's like it's like
did you see the kids that did it, Andy?
No, and why would they? I mean, but it was
because earlier you gave a description of them, including like what color pants they were wearing, so it was misleading.
If I was a cop, that's what I would be cruising the neighborhood looking for.
Yeah.
It's like,
I thought you might have just been...
No, you don't. What do you do with your free time? You get bored? Do you lash out? Do you get angry? You ever take it out on a mailbox?
The kid that fucked up your mailbox rode up on your bicycle, swung from your mailbox, broke it, and rode away on your bike, Andy.
It's like Dazed and Confused when they took that. Would they throw it? Was it a bowling ball they threw at the mailbox? Yeah. We threw bowling balls off of a bridge. We didn't think about. I mean, it's like those are like I was a destructive fuck, but I didn't. We had a bowling ball, and all we could think of was to throw it off of the suicide bridge in the McCullough Bridge. But that was kind of fun.
You had a suicide bridge?
Well, I assume so.
Called it that?
No, every time I saw it, I thought of killing myself.
Only you called it suicide bridge.
That's just what Andy calls bridges.
I think what we thought, like there was hardly ever people on the bridge. It's not like the Golden Gate Bridge. It was a real narrow walkway I think on both sides, but I always thought the people on it must be thinking about killing themselves. And then the one time I walked across it, I was sure giving it plenty of study.
Yeah, you can't help but think about it while you're out.
The thing that throws you off is you're like, well, I'll drown in mud, right? If the tide's out and shit, you're hitting mud, which seems to me that'd almost be better.
As far as being more effective, probably, but I know that they had that documentary, The Bridge, where they filmed the people jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge, I think it was, and they talked about, and a bunch of people survived, and they interviewed them, and every single one they talked to said that as soon as they were off, they fucking regretted it. And I've always used that as, I was like, that's why I'll shoot myself in the head or the heart or something, like something immediate, so that I don't have any time to regret it, because that's got to be the worst. Imagine laying in the fucking mud, all broken up, going, "Oh fuck!"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Now I'm in a wheelchair. Yeah. And now your rotten kids are putting fucking shoes and shit out on the floor, but you get a wheel around to get to the phone to answer it.
And you thought you were felt like a failure before? Wait till you can't even kill yourself. Try dealing with that sort of fucking shame that you put upon yourself.
Yeah. Like do some fucking research, man. Like, like there's somebody in Eugene jumped off a 5-story building and it fucking killed him, but it took a week or two. And it wasn't a building that was 5 levels either. That's what got me. I was like, quitter.
Oh, he could have gone higher.
Yeah, you could have gone higher. That's what I was like,
That
man.
should have worked out.
Why are you selling yourself short?
Maybe,
What
yeah, maybe
that much
what are
of a
you
hurry?
too ineffective to ask the clerk at the hotel for a higher room? Oh, I was really hoping for the 8th floor. Well, all we have is 5th floor. Oh, okay.
You haven't even got the roof.
Yeah, I thought that was really, I mean, it was just like fascinated me. It was at the Hilton, which is, I think it was a 12-story, and the guy jumped off a 5. s- too emotional.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta, I mean,
There's some thought
maybe
in
it is the right decision for you, but it's like you're never going to improve your lot in life with a bunch of broken bones and shit. So you got to be more fucking selective, I think, when killing oneself.
I just watched the other day. They had a wrestler chick that used to be a professional wrestler killed herself, and I'm never interested in the. I mean, I'm a little interested in the when people kill themselves or get hit by trains or whatever. The morbid stuff is interesting a little bit, but what's more interesting to me is the 15. She posted a 15-minute Instagram live. I watched every minute of it. Leading up to killing yourself. I like watching what's in people's
Oh my
heads
God.
up till when they do it, And
I'd watch a show called Botched, where it's just like people talking about their suicide when they have it acted out or whatever. I never thought to check that ladder. I think it'd be
You
like,
guys got half a face where the bullet went in this
yeah.
side, came out over here.
Yeah, the darkest comedy, because it's, you have to have a sense of humor probably about
Yeah.
that.
Mike Costa used to do a great bit about a comedian who tried to commit suicide by shooting himself in the face and but he lived, and he only had like half a face. And he started to do comedy, and he would come out, and I'm going to do a terrible version of Mike Costa's bit, but he would come out and he would be like, so traffic's pretty shitty on the 405. And, yeah, he would just never talk about the fact that he had like half of his face was blown off. And everyone's like, dude, are you not, what? You gotta mention it. You can't act like it didn't happen.
Yeah, kind of the elephant in the room there.
Yeah.
There was a big character actor, I forget his name, a few years back that he had diabetes, I think. His health was going bad, so he tried to kill himself, but he only had one bullet, and he shot himself through the head, but it just passed through. And there's a 911 call of him calling 911. I'm blind. I can't move. I'm stuck here on the bed. And if he only had another bullet, he could have shot again. But he only packed one bullet to kill himself. That's a lot of confidence. I'm aiming to pull the trigger twice and confuse people investing. Well, wait a minute. How did he shoot himself in the back of the head twice?
Trying to think of another one where you could like have a rope around your neck and then so you'll hang yourself, but then you shoot yourself in the head with a shotgun, hang, and then I guess that'd be double, double down.
Well, you'd just be able to rig the trigger up to the noose so that when the noose went straight, took the slack out, then the trigger would pull.
Like how many times could you rig up a device to kill you?
Joby showed me one time a suicide helmet that was like a 360-degree helmet that you put shotgun shells in, like all the way around, and it fired. Yeah, and then you closed them, and then they all fired at once, so you got shot from like 5 different angles.
What?
Yeah, suicide helmet. I don't remember.
Yeah, the instructions say it goes on 3, but it actually goes off on 2.
money back if you're not completely satisfied.
Shaylee, that's an added feature so that you don't have any time to second guess it. That's what people. That's what people don't want. Yeah. Wait.
Yeah. Well, we are coming up on a special anniversary. 9/11.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. It gets here sooner each year, doesn't it? It's like it seems like I just took down the decorations and I'll put them back up. Yeah, I feel like this is the last chance
We,
for America to come together. This 9/11.
I mean, it really has reached the point of ridiculousness with 9/11, though, because like the only mention I've seen of it, I saw on like ESPN or something, and it was the Yankees and the Mets in a series this weekend on the day all New Yorkers will always remember. It's like, so now it's just a reason for the Mets.
Marketing.
And a free taco to everyone if there's a home run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's the 20th, so everybody's going to try harder. But really, it lost its steam after the 10th one. It really
won't be
has
long
just been
before
lesser and lesser. Reading of the names, you're like, oh shit, you know. I used to wake up and look forward to this. Like, you know, just read the names of people who died of COVID. That's almost as long of a list each day. How many
won't
died
be long before they have twin towers in the outfield of the baseball field. When someone hits it with the ball, they explode. They like implode and fall down. Boom.
I feel like they should put it back just for zip lining.
Hot dogs are only $1 now for an hour. 9/11 home run.
Yeah, just have all the specials. We're setting the clock back to 9/11 pricing. It's like I saw it was that Corky Romano movie. It was like a big
Corky
yeah,
Romano.
it was a big a big ad for his movie, like coming out in September of. It's like, you know, I'm sure it was not going to be a big movie anyway, but just anything set to launch was fucking stupid right before 9/11.
There's got to be some comedian whose big break was getting a bit role in the Chris Kattan Corky Romano film, and then fuck. Are you kidding me?
You know, we still haven't recovered and gotten in the mood for a Chris Kattan movie.
He never came back.
It's a trigger.
Yeah, he kept thinking it'll come back around. Who's he? He's the forefather of the guy who's on Saturday Night Live now that people complain about. He's got the same
Pete
annoying.
Davidson.
Yeah, he's got that same annoying.
You know Pete Davidson's connection to 9/11, right? Do you know?
Yeah. His dad was a fireman.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Did we all watch that same shitty movie?
Yeah, well, that too. There's a couple of different connections, but it's like that's what some of the sympathy for the 9/11 families gets lost because everyone thinks Pete Davidson's annoying as fuck, and it's like I'm tired of caring that his dad was a fireman. I 9/11. That's the reason I got to keep looking at this dipshit. Then I want to forget.
You know what this means is on the 20th we got to like come together and remember it and be somber. But on the 21st anniversary of 9/11, we can tell everyone just fucking get over it. Okay, you had your 20th anniversary. We thought it should have been canceled at 14. Let's be honest. Nobody likes that song, Danny Boy. You know, we're just we've moved on. We've had a pandemic that's killed a lot of people. So we can't really set aside time anymore for your fucking song and dance number, you know?
Been overshadowed.
Hey, good 20th. Have a good 20th.
Good point, because the numbers are still going up, and you're going to remember something that happened 20 years ago when we still aren't taking care of our own people here.
Yeah. I mean, how many died in 9/11?
I laughed because that's
1900 or 2000?
I think like 2,900.
Yeah, like $3,000 or something.
So watch the clock. I don't know. We have Super Spreader Saturday where everybody went into college stadiums and high-fived and got face-to-face. We don't have enough time for the death toll. I was thinking maybe we could beat 9/11's death toll with COVID death on 9/11 just to show them. Hey,
good publicity.
by the way, 9/11, 2,600 dead. Huh?
Yeah.
Take that. But I don't think we have time. We will get there.
It's just important that we've all learned the lessons.
The lessons are I don't know, man. That's
as long as we're moving forward by learning from our mistakes in the past.
Was there anything we did learn? I mean, we really responded poorly. We invaded a country that had nothing to do with it. Like, is there anything like the whole remember, never
9/11?
forget kind of shit? Did it lead to anything?
Oh yeah, here.
It didn't lead
Here's
to any
something.
justice
Here's a
or
lesson
any
from
sort of.
9/11 is don't act emotionally. You know, it's like, when your dog dies and then you feel like you want to go out and get another dog. It's like we were still emotional. We were still hurt over 9/11, and we really needed to probably have some counseling and deal with our grief before we went all willy-nilly starting a war.
Yeah,
You're
right.
trying to feel an emptiness in your
But that's
heart by killing people.
but
Andy
that's
was,
Make up
because
for
every
people that,
week they were going back to the pet store.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people died. We can't replace them.
Never forget to plug
Never
the fish
forget.
tank back in after you've been playing electric football with your brother.
Right. That was my 9/11.
Well, that was your fish's 9/11.
Definitely.
But you're right, Andy. The only lessons we actually learned are the, ironic lessons of learning from our terrible response to it. That's my point. Like none of the shit we actually did in response to it was healthy or good. It was mostly, murderous rage that got us into deeper and deeper shit we're still dealing with.
And it's kind of it's hard for the people who probably signed up after 9/11 to go into the war, and some of them didn't come home. Some of them came home maimed or whatever to go. Yeah, but I did the right thing. It's like, no, you reacted emotionally. You wanted some payback, and everybody, it's like that scene in Platoon. Yeah, you're all pissed off. You all want some revenge. And it's like, that's what 9/11 was. It was like a lot of emotional protest and shit. People were raw and shit. And it's like, let's just frame this, man. We're going to have way more death and suffering in a few
Yeah, but
decades.
Andy, people were lied to. Don't forget that.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
a whole subterfuge going on to create false facts that made people become like fucking incensed to join. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what happened too.
Patriotism is like jealousy as an emotion. Well, it's like, some guys get jealous or whatever, and women, they don't like it or whatever, but it may be, oh, well, he's just, he's protective of me or whatever. He's jealous. Like patriotism exists in that same fucking bullshit.
The knee-jerk patriotism of 9/11. I was on active duty in the Army on 9/11, and the knee-jerk patriotism definitely set us back, fucking evolutionary speaking, where we're moving forward, and then all of a sudden we just rubber banded back. For sure.
I'm patriotic in the same way I was sensitive when I watched Little House on the Prairie as a boy, and I would get choked up and have feelings about whatever was fed to me, and that's what patriotism. It's like,
Dude,
I was like, man, I felt great when Caitlyn Jenner won the decathlon. I was right there chewing my gum.
It's the same reason I tear up on Hulu commercials, man. People are good at their fucking jobs. Fuck. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah, patriotism is just like a fucking dish that's stirred up, and you go, oh, what's that? That smells good or whatever. And, oh, that's patriots. Oh, I don't know. I can't have patriotism. That gives me the hives. Cost me 3 of my kids. Fucking patriotism. Yeah, it's like, it is the same day, like a dude who's overly jealous or whatever. Oh, it's, you can be a little jealous and you can go unnoticed, but if you're all fucking patriotic and shit, it's like everybody around you is nervous. Like, what's this fucking asshole up to? Joe Patriot. Like that. I hope that before it's all over, before the planet kicks us off, is that we look at patriots like, and I know people don't like the word faggot, but I would like that word to be shifted to anyone who shows extreme patriotism as a display of that you're a fucking faggot.
If you don't eat all your French fries, are you not going to eat all your French fries, you patriot?
Yes. I apologize if this is like common sense or whatever, but I feel like maybe I could kind of bridge the gap because I come from this sort of, patriotic redneck type fucking thing. All of that is just a distraction for these people because they're not aware of that, of course. But imagine being introspective if that's your whole personality, you would fucking want. There would be suicides would go up immensely immediately if all those people became introspective. So they got to be putting it out there to think about, as a distraction. If that makes sense, I think that the people that I've encountered, even that I had to work alongside dudes with like Veterans for Trump hats while I was in Globe, and it was they're nice people. They're just no. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there are fucking smart people but it's like patriotism's like a bad fucking thing to get
But
all,
don't you? Do you think
especially
it's
with this
also?
country.
Do you think it's also a reaction, an overcorrection to the response and the welcoming home and the treatment that soldiers got coming back from Vietnam? Whereas like everyone's like, oh, we can't call these soldiers, we're calling them baby killers, and we're haranguing them for being murderers, and they all went crazy in Vietnam, and it was such a shit show. They were killing people, and it was so there was a concerted effort starting with Reagan to make sure that people who were in the army were heroes, were always called heroes, and they're like, whatever you do,
Unquestionably.
thank you for your service, yada yada yada. And that's part of it too, because some like volunteering to be the point of the spear on. I'm going to mix metaphors here. The point of the spear on the muscle of American corporate imperialistic greed is not a heroic act. And as long as we keep making it seem like it is, and bringing these people back, and having them meet their kids again for the first time in 2 years at halftime of the fucking, these idiots are going to keep up because they want their moment in the sun.
But
and
isn't that the shell game though, Erickson? Isn't that the shell game? Is to trick the people that sign up into thinking it's not about oil or Americanism abroad?
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. If there's a way to make people enlist, I mean, I don't know. I've never enlisted. I've had relatives that were in service and died in service, but it is one of those things where I don't think it's someone's fault for falling for it. I think the fault lies higher up in that they create these situations that people feel like they just get fucking crazy, blind with. No one wants to run over to fight for Exxon. No one wants to do that unless they're mercenaries. They're well paid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, they
It seems
recruit
like
out of these small towns, and they tell these kids that they're defending their freedoms, of their family, their family's right. Somebody has to pay for this, Everybody doesn't have to just, somebody has, and you're the hero that's going to stand up and do that, and your whole town is going to love you for it. They're going to put a picture of you in the paper saying you joined the army. And it's a fucking it's a marketing thing.
You get to play varsity football for another 4 years. Only this time you're putting on the uniform
after you die.
Mm-hmm.
So 9/11, I just looked it up. 9/11 is called Patriot Day since 2016. Barack Obama created Patriot Day.
I never liked that guy.
Who? Obama? I was going to say that. Well, I was thinking 9/11 is
gay 90s is the guy, actually, Andy.
2016 was the gay 90s, Andy. It really was.
Should,
in comparison.
maybe 9/11
pictures a guy as gay 90s.
Okay, we talked about this earlier. 9/11 has lost its luster. How about if we bring the gays in to take it over? You
gay 9/11?
Up the production. 9/11. Put a big musical on. And fuck yeah, because 9/11, it's like when you fire a coach, like we just
write
need
that down, Erickson.
we need coaching. Is fucking the parade. Oh, Danny boy, and now out comes all the drag impersonators, high kicking and shit.
No, you could definitely play it.
Yeah, sexy, oh Danny boy, where it sounds like Danny boy's gonna get his dick sucked before he goes down. Those,
I like that's the real lesson from 9/11, that it wasn't and isn't gay enough.
Yeah.
Let's gay it up.
I think
Get
people
up.
were afraid to go there because AIDS had just wrapped up. So they're like, we gotta handle this different. Remember last time there was a crisis, we were all spreading it around and shit. Yeah, no, I'm glad it wasn't. Like, can you imagine if they, there was 2 skyscrapers full of just gays that they would have targeted it. That's why, they don't put them all in.
Well, we wouldn't have heard about it for a couple of years.
Right? Yeah, Mike Pence would have covered up. There were no people in those buildings. Like, no, there
Yeah,
was
people to
That was a
remember.
controlled demolition. We had planned to totally revamp the neighborhood.
they, yeah.
I want to do my "It's Raining Men" again joke.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it didn't land properly the first time.
No, it hit it hit
Could you put a picture up of the people jumping out of the towers? I gotta get this joke across.
All right. I gotta get the right one.
How about this?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is a good one.
Eric's just gonna start carrying a green screen when he goes on the tour. So he can have flash up references to his jokes behind him.
But that stockbroker.
All right, here.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do your joke.
There it is.
We need the Shaley challenge right here. Shaley going down cannonballing.
Yeah, I got to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy was like a chef. I think.
He
That's
looks
what I
like he's
heard.
dressed like a chef.
I mean, how can you
He's a
tell?
chef jacket.
According to Shaley's split screen, it looks like he's jumping out of the wrong building. Like
He's a continental, he's a continental breakfast chef.
Like out of sympathy, he just jumped. Thinking all buildings were gonna go down.
First he shaved his head for cancer people, and then he jumped out of the bill.
He took his locks and put them in an envelope and USPS them to Locks of Love, and then put on his chef jacket and then jumped right out the window.
There's nothing that'll ever be like that on live TV. Hopefully, where you're watching live coverage and they're like, I don't know what that sound is, and then later you find out that sound. It'd be like if the grizzly bear man
There's
getting eaten.
going to be more and more shit like that all the time because everything's filmed now. Every person has a high definition camera.
Oh, I know.
And yet, not one picture of Bigfoot.